Have you been unknowingly ruining your food by refrigerating it? You might be surprised to learn that the appliance designed to preserve your groceries could actually be destroying some of them. Seniors especially need to pay attention, as nearly 48 million Americans get sick from foodborne illnesses every year, with over 3,000 deaths, many of them older adults. The CDC confirms that seniors face a significantly higher risk due to weakened immune systems. And sometimes, the danger starts right in your refrigerator. Stay with me to discover 9 foods you should never refrigerate. The last one on the list might shock you. It not only loses nutritional value, but develops harmful compounds when chilled. The refrigerator seems like a safe haven for food. It's where we instinctively put things to keep them fresh. But this instinct is sometimes wrong, and following it blindly can lead to disappointing meals at best and health risks at worst. Many people who grew up during times of food scarcity have a strong impulse to refrigerate almost everything. It would put bread, tomatoes, and even unopened canned goods in the refrigerator. But many foods actually deteriorate faster when refrigerated. The problem is that refrigeration changes foods in ways we don't immediately notice. Cold temperatures alter the internal chemistry of many foods, degrading their texture, flavor, and sometimes even creating potentially harmful compounds. Understanding these changes requires looking beyond the surface. Curious? But first, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. What part of the world are you from? After you've watched the video, drop a comment below so we can get to know each other better. Let's examine the top 9 foods you should keep out of your refrigerator and why the common practice of refrigerating them can be problematic. 1. Potatoes. Potatoes are kitchen staples that almost everyone has on hand. Many people refrigerate them thinking it will extend their shelf life, but this is a serious mistake. When potatoes are stored in cold temperatures, a concerning chemical change occurs. Their starch rapidly converts to sugar. This might seem harmless, but when you later cook these cold sweetened potatoes at high temperatures, those sugars can combine with amino acids to produce acrylamide, a compound linked to cancer in animal studies. Beyond the potential health concerns, refrigerated potatoes develop a grainy, mushy texture. The cold causes their cell structures to break down, turning formerly firm potatoes soft and unappetizing. You'll also notice they become darkened from oxidation, which signals nutrient loss. The solution is simple. Store potatoes in a cool, dark, dry place, not cold and wet. A pantry, cupboard, or even a paper bag in a cool corner works perfectly. They'll stay firm, flavorful, and much safer when cooked. 2. Onions. Onions have a protective, papery skin. For a reason, it's designed to keep moisture out while preserving flavor and firmness. Refrigeration undermines this natural defense system. The cold, humid environment inside a refrigerator causes onions to absorb moisture rapidly. This leads to 2 immediate problems. They become mushy, and they often develop mold. Neither makes for a pleasant cooking experience. There's another issue that affects everything else in your refrigerator: odor transfer. Onions release sulfur compounds that can permeate other foods. Ever noticed your butter tasting faintly of onions? That's not your imagination. It's your refrigerator acting as a conduit for volatile compounds. Whole onions should be stored in a dry, dark, well-ventilated space like a pantry or cupboard. For cut onions, you can refrigerate them, but only if they're sealed tightly and used within a day or 2. 3. Bread. Many people refrigerate bread hoping to prevent mold and extend freshness. Ironically, this achieves the opposite effect. The science here involves a process called retrogradation, a fancy term for what happens when starch molecules in bread crystallize under cold temperatures. Unlike many food preservation processes, this begins almost immediately when bread enters the refrigerator. The result? Your soft, fluffy bread becomes stale much faster than if you'd left it at room temperature. The refrigerator doesn't preserve bread's freshness. It accelerates its deterioration. What's worse, when refrigerated bread loses moisture, it creates the perfect conditions for mold once you bring it back to room temperature. The uneven moisture that develops during refrigeration and rewarming creates ideal conditions for mold spores to thrive. This isn't just about taste and texture. Some molds produce mycotoxins, compounds that can cause serious health issues, especially in older adults with already weakened immune systems. If you want to extend bread's life, freezing is far more effective. The freezer halts both mold growth and staling without destroying texture. Just slice your bread before freezing and defrost only what you need. For daily use, Keep bread in a bread box or sealed container at room temperature for a few days, and freeze anything you won't use in that time frame. 4. Tomatoes. Tomatoes might be the most misunderstood food when it comes to refrigeration. Most people believe refrigerating tomatoes keeps them fresh longer, but cold temperatures are actually tomato destroyers. Tomatoes are tropical fruits that hate the cold. When placed in a refrigerator, the chilly air interferes with their enzymes and halts the ripening process. Since ripening is where much of a tomato's flavor develops, refrigerated tomatoes end up watery, bland, and mealy. The texture suffers too. Refrigerated tomatoes lose their firmness and develop a soft, rubbery consistency. That satisfying bite and juicy burst you expect from a fresh tomato disappears entirely. Nutritionally, tomatoes contain vitamin C that degrades faster in cold storage. So refrigeration not only ruins the taste, but also diminishes the health benefits. Store tomatoes at room temperature, away from direct sunlight, and stem side down to preserve moisture. If they become overripe, use them immediately in cooking rather than trying to extend their life in the refrigerator. 5. Garlic. Garlic is often called a superfood, packed with beneficial compounds like allicin that support immune health and can help lower blood pressure. Unfortunately, refrigeration can destroy these benefits and potentially create danger. Whole garlic bulbs naturally last for weeks or months at room temperature, especially when kept dry and well ventilated. In refrigerator conditions, the moisture and cold cause garlic to sprout prematurely, changing its taste and signaling a breakdown in its beneficial compounds. But here's the truly alarming part. Refrigerated garlic, especially when chopped or minced and stored in oil, can become a breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. This rare but extremely dangerous illness can lead to paralysis and even death if not treated promptly. The FDA has issued specific warnings about storing garlic in oil without proper acidification or refrigeration safeguards. Yet many people create this potentially dangerous combination without realizing the risks. The solution is simple. Store whole garlic bulbs in a mesh bag or basket in your pantry. If you need to store chopped garlic, either use it quickly or keep it in a base of vinegar or lemon juice to inhibit bacterial growth. 6. Coffee. Many people store coffee in the refrigerator without realizing they're ruining both its flavor and potential health benefits. Coffee is hygroscopic, meaning it absorbs moisture and odors from its surroundings like a sponge. In a refrigerator filled with various foods, coffee readily picks up their aromas and flavors, destroying its own unique profile. The result is a brew that tastes dull, bitter, or simply strange. More importantly, when coffee is exposed to the cold air and humidity of a refrigerator, condensation forms on the beans or grounds each time the door opens and closes. This leads to clumping, premature staling, and the breakdown of essential oils that give coffee its aroma and health benefits. Coffee contains chlorogenic acids, antioxidants that support heart and brain health. These degrade faster in cold, damp conditions, so refrigerated coffee not only tastes flat, but also loses its potential health advantages. Worse still, damp coffee can grow mold, especially if stored in non-airtight containers. Instead, keep coffee in an opaque, airtight container at room temperature in a dark cabinet to preserve its freshness, flavor, and beneficial compounds. 7. Honey. Honey is one of the few foods in the world that never spoils on its own. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that remained perfectly edible after thousands of years. Yet refrigerating honey can reverse this remarkable natural preservation. When honey goes into the refrigerator, the cold temperature causes it to crystallize rapidly, turning smooth, flowing honey into a grainy, hardened mass that's difficult to use. This isn't just inconvenient, it can actually introduce problems that wouldn't otherwise exist. The crystallization process traps air pockets, which can then introduce moisture into the container when it's repeatedly opened and closed. Moisture is honey's enemy, potentially leading to fermentation that gives honey an unpleasant sour taste and smell. Even worse, that moisture can enable microbial growth in a food that's normally resistant to it, thanks to its low water content and high acidity. Refrigeration essentially weakens honey's natural defenses. Cold temperatures also slow down the natural enzymes in honey that contribute to its antibacterial properties, making refrigerated honey potentially less healthful over time. Store honey in a tightly sealed jar in a pantry or cupboard, away from sunlight and extreme heat. This preserves its smooth texture, natural flavor, and all the healing compounds that make it a time-tested remedy. 8. Bananas. Bananas are particularly popular among seniors for their potassium content and digestibility. Unfortunately, refrigerating them destroys everything that makes them beneficial. As tropical fruits, bananas are biologically programmed for warm environments. Refrigeration shuts down the enzymes responsible for the ripening process. If you refrigerate unripe bananas, they may never ripen properly at all, remaining hard and flavorless. Visually, refrigerated bananas quickly develop blackened skin. This isn't just unappealing, it's a sign of cold injury to the fruit. Underneath that blackened exterior, the banana often becomes unevenly mushy and develops an unpleasant metallic flavor. Beyond flavor and appearance, refrigeration damages the natural antioxidants found in bananas, particularly dopamine and catechins, which are important for brain health and reducing oxidative stress in aging cells. For seniors especially, these compounds provide valuable health benefits that are lost when bananas are refrigerated. If bananas are already overripe when refrigerated, the moisture buildup inside the peel can create ideal conditions for mold, especially around the stem area. Keep bananas at room temperature, ideally hanging or in a fruit bowl where air can circulate. If you have too many ripe bananas, freeze them peeled for smoothies or baking later, but don't refrigerate them. 9. Olive oil. Perhaps the most concerning item on this list is olive oil, which many seniors rely on for its heart-healthy properties. When refrigerated, olive oil undergoes a process called solidification, where the fatty acids crystallize and cause the oil to become cloudy and partially solid. While this physical change isn't inherently harmful, the repeated temperature fluctuations from taking the oil in and out of the refrigerator create serious problems. Each time olive oil moves between cold and warm temperatures, its chemical structure experiences stress that accelerates oxidation, potentially creating harmful free radicals while diminishing the oil's beneficial antioxidant properties. These oxidative changes can transform heart-healthy oil into one-containing compounds that may actually promote inflammation, exactly what seniors don't need. The solidification also makes olive oil difficult to pour, increasing the risk of spills or overuse, which adds unnecessary calories to seniors' diets. Beyond health concerns, the flavor profile suffers dramatically. Refrigerated olive oil loses its distinctive, fruity, peppery notes that make it such a pleasurable addition to Mediterranean-style diets recommended for heart health. Store olive oil in a dark glass bottle or metal container in a cool cabinet away from heat sources like the stove. Properly stored, high-quality olive oil maintains its health benefits and flavor for up to 2 years from bottling. Understanding proper food storage isn't just about preserving flavor, it's about preserving nutrients and preventing potentially harmful chemical changes. For seniors especially, maintaining the nutritional quality of food is crucial, as they often face challenges with appetite and nutrient absorption. The refrigerator, while one of the most important innovations in food safety, isn't a universal solution for food storage. It's a tool that works wonderfully for many foods, but can be destructive for others. The foods on this list weren't meant to be cold. Many of them have evolved their own preservation mechanisms that work best at room temperature. By refrigerating them, we're not working with their biology but against it. Making these simple changes to how you store food can lead to more flavorful meals, better nutrition, and in some cases, improved safety. It's a small adjustment that makes a significant difference in the quality of your food and potentially your health. The next time you unpack your groceries, pause before automatically putting everything in the refrigerator. Have you ever put any of these foods in the fridge without knowing if it was the right move? Leave your comment below. If you found this video helpful, please type yes in the comments below. I also encourage you to check out these 2 videos we selected especially for you. Thanks for watching.